Most people in abuse spaces are taught this story. You were trauma bonded because they manipulated you, they love bombed you, they hooked you, they made you addicted to them. And while I'm not denying that harmful behavior, that story quietly keeps you tied to the person you're trying to let go of because it says, they did this to me. And here's the truth that nobody seems to be willing to say. They didn't create your trauma bond. They activated something that was already there. And if you're new here, my name is Jackie. For many years, my work focused on trauma and attachment and nervous system survival patterns, especially in relationships that felt confusing or addictive or even impossible to leave. Now, I'm not really in that space anymore, but this video comes from that body of work because from what I see, this misunderstanding is keeping people stuck. So today, I'm going to talk about what trauma bonds actually are. A trauma bond is not created by another person. A trauma bond forms when your nervous system learns that love and safety and connection are unpredictable. And that wiring begins early in life, way before this person, and not always in obvious ways. A lot of people will hear things like inconsistent caregivers or emotional neglect, and then they will think, well, that wasn't my childhood. I had a good childhood. But what I'm really talking about is something that is much quieter and a lot more common, and that is conditional belonging. Growing up in environments where being liked mattered, being easy mattered, being good mattered, being agreeable mattered, or being low maintenance mattered, where love didn't disappear, but it felt dependent on how well you behaved or performed or adapted. All of those things teaches your nervous system, I need to manage connection. And that wiring is what gets activated in trauma bonds. So then later in life, when you meet somebody who's emotionally inconsistent, warm 1 minute and then distant the next, your nervous system doesn't think this is unsafe. It thinks, this feels familiar. Your body recognizes the pattern. And this is why two people can date the same emotionally unavailable person and one person gets annoyed and leaves, and the other person becomes emotionally consumed. They didn't create the pattern, they matched it. Now, I'm not saying that harmful, manipulative, or selfish behavior doesn't exist. It absolutely does. But nobody can create an addiction in a nervous system that wasn't already primed for that loop. When we believe that somebody did this to us, we stay energetically tied to them. They become the reason that we're stuck. They become the reason we're hurting, the reason we can't move on. But when you can understand that they revealed something that was already present inside of you, that is when you can take your power back, because the work isn't about fixing them. It's about understanding yourself. And listen, this is not self-blame. You didn't choose your wiring. You didn't choose the conditions you grew up in. You didn't choose what your nervous system learned to do to stay connected, but you can change the pattern. So let me ask you, do you think that the person you were attached to created your pain? Or do you sense that they may have activated something deeper? Let me know in the comments. Everything I just shared here comes from a body of work that I spent years developing around attachment, trauma bonds, and nervous system survival. All of it lives inside of my legacy library. In this stage where you're learning to untangle emotional addiction, trauma bonds, relationship patterns, you will find everything inside that space. Courses, workshops, workbooks, nervous system regulation tools that will help you be able to shift your patterns much faster than a YouTube video will. I will include the link below in the video's description. This is the work. I'm glad you're learning how to take your power back without blaming yourself. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.